Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're diving into something that's, well, it's just super important, getting a real handle on harassment in the workplace. We're going to break down what it is, why it's such a big deal, and, most importantly, what all of us can do to build a place that feels safe and respectful for absolutely everyone. So, yeah, let's get right into it.
Okay, let's kick things off with a scenario I bet we've all been in or at least seen. You hear a comment, right? Maybe it's framed as just a bit of banter or a bad joke, but it just doesn't sit right. You get that weird feeling in your stomach. So where's the line? How do we actually know when something's crossed over from being harmless to being genuinely harmful?
To figure out where that line is, we've got to be on the same page about what we're even talking about. So first things first, let's get a really solid definition down.
And right there, that's the magic word, unwanted. This is so crucial. It's not about what someone intended to do, it's all about how it made the other person feel. If the behavior is sexual and it makes someone's workplace feel hostile or intimidating or just plain offensive, then that's what it is. It's all about the impact, not the intent.
This slide just lays it out perfectly, doesn't it? On one side, you've got respect. It's professional, it's inclusive, it's mutual, it makes people feel good. And harassment is literally the polar opposite. It's totally one-sided, it's intimidating, and it just creates a negative vibe for everyone. Now, this is a really important point to get our heads around. Harassment isn't always physical, not by a long shot. It can be verbal, inappropriate comments or jokes, or it can be totally nonverbal, like sending someone gross messages or images. It's any of that unwanted behavior.
Okay, so that's the textbook definition, but what does this stuff actually look like day to day, out in the wild? Let's get into some specific examples.
So it can pop up in a ton of different ways. It might be those relentless, unwanted comments about how someone looks, or getting texts and jokes that just make your skin crawl, and it can also be way more serious, like when a manager or someone with more power tries to pressure someone. And this right here, this highlights a particularly nasty form of it, the abuse of power. This is when someone in a senior role makes a colleague feel like their entire career is hanging in the balance if they don't go along with what they want. Let's just be crystal clear. That is never, ever okay. Now, this kind of behavior, it doesn't just stay in a little bubble with two people. No way. It creates a ripple effect. This isn't some private issue. It's a workplace issue that can seriously mess up an entire team. Yeah, exactly. When harassment gets ignored, it's like a poison that just seeps into the whole company culture. It destroys trust, it kills teamwork, and it makes it pretty much impossible for people to feel safe enough to actually do their best work. And here's what happens when that poison spreads. Team morale, it just tanks. And when people feel down, productivity suffers because they're stressed out and can't focus. And when the whole atmosphere just becomes toxic, what happens then? The best people leave. It's a lose-lose situation for everybody. It's also really important for you to know that this isn't just about being a good person or following the company handbook. This is about the law. And you need to know, without a doubt, that the law is designed to have your back. So the absolute cornerstone of all this, right here in the UK, is the Equality Act. And that came into force back in 2010. This is the big one that sets the legal standard for all of this. So what does that actually mean for you? Well, it means the law makes it flat out illegal for anyone to create a work environment that feels intimidating, hostile, or offensive. This isn't just a friendly suggestion, it's your legal right to have a safe place to work. Okay, so we know what it is, we know the damage it does, and we know the law's on our side. The big question is, what are the practical first steps you can take if you either experience this or you see it happening? What do you actually do in that moment? This slide gives you a really clear three-step guide. First, if and only if you feel safe, you can address it directly. Sometimes that's enough, but you are never, ever required to do that. Step 2 is to use the official channels, report it. And step 3, which might just be the most important, is to find support. You do not have to handle this on your own. Talk to a colleague you trust, talk to HR, talk to a union rep, just talk to someone.
Everything we've covered so far is really just the foundation. Building a genuinely great workplace culture isn't just about knowing the rules. The real work, that starts right now, when we all decide to start talking about this stuff openly and honestly with each other.
Let's just end on this, because if you take away only one thing from today, let it be this. A safe, respectful workplace isn't a perk. It's not a nice-to-have bonus. It is a fundamental right for every single one of us.
And that's the standard we all have a responsibility to protect.
Okay, now it's time to get you all talking. Here's the first question to chew on. What does being a good support system actually look like from a coworker's point of view? How can we be better allies for each other in a real, practical way?
And for our final question, let's be real for a second. We know it's incredibly hard for people to report harassment. Why is that? What are the real barriers stopping people? And maybe more importantly, as you all move on in your careers, what are some actual things a workplace can do to make it genuinely safe for people to speak up? All right, let's get into it.